guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are reviewing quite possibly the most requested figure that I've ever had requested on this channel. It is the Sega Jurassic World Tyrannosaurus Rex, or Rexy as some people call her, or Roberta like her original name I believe was meant to be. Either way, whatever people like to call it, it is the Tyrannosaurus Rex from the original Jurassic Park and Jurassic World series. This thing is unbelievable. Just like the Sega Velociraptor Blue that I had previously reviewed, this thing is just off the charts awesome. These Sega figures are without question some of the nicest Jurassic World or Jurassic Park figures that we have ever gotten in the history of the Jurassic Park franchise. I am head over heels in love with these things as they are just so insanely highly detailed and look so beautiful. They come on a nice base that looks very high quality. Everything about these things is they're just awesome. I really truly do love these figures. And now the Mosasaur has just recently come out, and I intend on buying that one right away and hopefully getting it on the channel as soon as it comes in. It does have to come from, I believe, China, where I'm ordering it from, so it's going to take a few weeks before I actually receive it. But once I do, I will have that one up on the channel as well. But either way, this Tyrannosaurus Rex is beautiful, and if you don't trust me, let's take a closer look so you can see for yourself. So starting up here at the head, taking a nice closer look at the detail and sculpt work on the head, you can really see just how nicely detailed that is. Look at the actual sculpting that's been done of the scales. Just the scales all over the face are just so incredibly nicely done. It's just mind-blowing to me. They really look beautiful, and you can see that they even have the scars that the current T-Rex has on its body from its lifetime of wars, or maybe these ones are from the Indominus Rex. I don't know exactly, but either way they are there. You can see that the eye is painted a nice yellow color, the black pupil, and it looks beautiful. Very nicely done. The inside of the mouth is very nicely detailed. Just take a look at the actual sculpt work of the skin flap on the side of the mouth. You can see that that is so beautifully sculpted. And it's really quite a nice paint applied on the inside. It's a pretty realistic color. You can even see, looking right here, the inside of the mouth has beautiful sculpt work everywhere, but it generally looks alive. It has a nice, very glossy, wet look to it that looks very legit, very real. The teeth are also sculpted and painted very nicely. They look beautiful. It's not perfectly painted, but it is by no means in any way a sloppy paint job. It really looks very nice as well. There's actually a little bit of a scar you can see right here, down under the nostril a little ways, that actually isn't painted like the others, but there's also another scar that's been added as far as the sculpt work goes. And the entire head sculpt, and well, body sculpt in general, but specifically the head sculpt is something that I feel like a lot of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World toys have usually gotten wrong as far as the way the Tyrannosaurus Rex looks, but here with the Sega figure, I feel like it really looks pretty much spot on to the way the T-Rex actually looks in the films. Everywhere is beautifully sculpted, but you can see that there is a seam right behind the head as it connects to the neck. So that is one slight downfall. It's really not a bother to me, I don't really mind it, but some people may not be too happy about that. Regardless, it's a very small issue that you really have to just want to complain about, because it's honestly not that visible. You can't see it too well. Maybe a little bit more on the underside of the head, but it's definitely there, just not super terrible. You also can see that there are seams where the arm's connected. And you can see a seam for the leg and a seam for the tail, but the tail disconnects, so that's you know, kind of without question that you would get that. But regardless, going back up here to the neck, you can see some beautiful neck folds and skin folds as you come down the neck. And the detail, again, is very nicely done. The scales are all sculpted very nicely. All sorts of different sizes. Coming down into the shoulder area, you can actually see the shoulder is sculpted out a little bit. You can see some more scars on the side of the dinosaur. Love the scars put into this. Very screen accurate the way they've done that. The arms are sculpted very nicely. Nails are painted with no sloppiness at all. Again, the underside has that beautiful sculpt work. Look at those scales, they look fantastic. Of course, there is the hole that you put the peg in to make it stand up, but you don't really notice that when it's posed like this. Nice skin folds coming from the leg here, giving you an idea of the motion of the leg as the legs are stretched back a little bit. Beautifully sculpted hip bone. You can see just the scales on the ridge of the hip bone right there are really nicely done. And then coming down into the leg, you can get a good idea of the musculature of the leg, especially the calf muscles. Some more very nicely done scales in the front of the knee area. And I really love the feet. The feet in general are just sculpted so nicely. They look very, very good, in my opinion. And the nails are painted nicely. They have a nice gloss on them. There's no sloppiness really anywhere on this as far as the paint goes. And then coming up here into the tail, you can see some more skin folds right behind the leg here. And the beautiful sculpt work runs the entire length of the tail, which is nice and long and fairly straight. It's got a slight curve in it, but not too much. And then taking a look at the opposing side again, you can see that that eye is painted beautifully. No sloppiness whatsoever with the eye. Beautifully sculpted nostrils. Yeah, I wish they would have kind of put a darker area around the eye, as that Rex does seem to have that, but they chose not to, which isn't bad. The paint on this is nice. It definitely fits the coloration of the dinosaur, but they didn't go all out with the paint, kind of like they did with blue. They gave it what you needed, but they didn't put too much in the way of paint. But I could imagine getting one of these and repainting it to actually add those extra bits of paint onto it would make this thing look unbelievable. And I am highly tempted to do that in the very near future, so I've just got to get around to ordering them again. Coming down this side of the neck, you can see some of those skin folds again that look very nice, some more scars, like all over the place really. And I love that they are in different areas as opposed to the other side. They're not in the same spots, really making it look quite real. Some more very nice skin folds here, and you can see the motion of the leg with the way the skin is folded, as this leg is pushed forward a little bit more so than the other. And then the hip bone up here again looks very nice. Beautiful musculature in this leg as well. And again, those feet, I really love the way the feet have been sculpted. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And then the tail, again, you notice not too many skin folds in this side compared to the other side, as this leg is pushed forward, which is a very nice touch to that extra bit of realism. And then the tail, again, sculpted beautifully the entire way out. So without question, this Tyrannosaurus Rex is awesome, and it is beautiful looking as far as the sculpt and paint and the very minute little details that they've put into it. They've done a great job. And then of course we get that base that we got on the Velociraptor Blue. It is pretty much the exact same base, just this little peg that does detach from the base, and then you've got the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom logo right there. And that's pretty much all you get. Looks very nice though regardless, very beautifully done, and it doesn't look cheap or anything. It definitely looks nice. It's very, very light, but it looks beautiful. And as with Blue, to connect her, you just have to take the base here, this little peg that I mentioned, and you line it up with the hole in the chest, push that in there, and there you go. There is your Tyrannosaurus Rex in all its beauty. Now quite obviously and without question, the pose of the Tyrannosaurus Rex is definitely influenced by the pose of the Rex that was roaring after pinning down the Carnotaurus. I would have loved it if they had added a Carnotaurus for him to be stepping on. That would have been such a very cool thing to add onto this, and really would have made that scene come to life in your figure. But regardless, this still is awesome. As far as a size goes, on the Tyrannosaurus Rex, from head to tail, or tail to head, you're looking at just over 10.5 inches, or about 27 centimeters. And from the base to the top of the head, you're looking at about 4 inches, maybe a little over, or maybe close to 11 centimeters. But from the ground up, when it's on the base, you're looking at about 4 3/4 inches, or about 12 to 12.5 centimeters. And for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, who was also a Jurassic Park influenced dinosaur figure. but obviously not an official one like this Sega Tyrannosaurus Rex is. But you can see that it does look pretty big. It's not super small, definitely smaller than the Papo Rex, but in my opinion it's a really very nice size, pretty much a perfect size for a great collectible like this, and the amount of detail in this is just unbelievable. It really is. The Mattel figures are fantastic. They all look great, but the actual sculpting of the details, like the minute little details of this thing, definitely are better than the Mattel sculpts in my opinion. I'm not going to go ahead and pick either the Sega figures or the Mattel figures to say which one is better, because they really all have their different pluses and are all awesome. I definitely enjoy them all equally as much, but the actual detail and sculpt of this thing, as far as the minute little details, are probably better than the Mattel figures. And for another size comparison, there is Blue the Velociraptor by Sega. You can see that these are quite obviously not to scale with each other, but they do come in at about the same size as far as length and even height. I think the Rex might be maybe a little bit bigger. Actually, they kind of look like they're about the same. Either way, they are both absolutely awesome, and they look great together. They really, really do. I cannot wait to get the Mosasaur, and I'm going to hope and pray that they continue to make more of these figures, because, man, I would love to see some others like a Carnotaurus or a Baryonyx or even an Indoraptor, or an Indominus Rex would be awesome, but I couldn't see that one happening. Either way, these things look great. So as far as the Sega Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom figures go, they are a complete win without question. They are just unbelievable for the size, because they're not super huge. The amount of detail and sculpt work that is just crammed into these things is jaw-dropping, and the paint may not be the best as far as the little details and the different shades and tones of coloration that go into the dinosaur. There's quite obviously a lot more as far as coloration that goes into the actual Jurassic World T-Rex, but for a nice collectible, this thing is as good as you're probably going to find it. It is absolutely awesome, and with a little bit of painting skill, I'm sure anybody can make this thing look just unbelievable. I'm hoping to get a chance to do that, like I mentioned previously, at some point in the very near future, and maybe repaint this one, and possibly blue, if I rebuy blue as well. Who knows, but either way, they look great the way they are, but could look a little better with a bit of a repaint. I paid somewhere around $22 or so. Actually, I think I got a couple discounts that are on AliExpress, especially if you first sign up. If you're a new user, you can get $4 off right away. And I think that the actual seller was running a discount. This was already discounted when I bought it, and I believe they had another discount of $1 or something on top of it, and then another discount of like $4. I forget exactly. I ended up paying about $18, but I believe the current price on this is around $22 or $23, somewhere in that area. So it's not a bad price. It's actually a pretty good price for something that is this beautiful. So I will link you guys in the description straight to the AliExpress seller that I purchased it from. It came very nicely packaged, very safely packaged, and didn't take too long. So it's a great store to order from, and I highly recommend the seller and this figure, as they were both quite awesome. So go ahead, click the link, buy it, you won't regret it, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.